Good morning, good morning. How's it going, crypto miners? Welcome back to the channel. So we're in this weird lull when it comes down to the market, right? Like Bitcoin's over 110,000 at the time of recording this here. Ethereum's over 4,000. Other altcoins are meh, I guess we'll call them. And I have a brand new shed here that I need to fill with ASIC miners to put to work. So what exactly am I thinking about putting in there? What am I running now in my other shed? And what are my plans moving forward? Let's talk about it. All right, so those of you guys that have been following along the channel know just within the last 2 weeks, we did this. I don't know, we're still coming up with creative names for this setup here. Command Center was a good one, but we've been running this ASIC mining shed over here for over a year and a half now, lots of different versions and renditions, and we finally decided to expand. This one right now has nothing in it, and in the next week or so, we're going to start construction inside to turn it into something exactly like this. But we have lots of room. We have about 32 slots, give or take, in this shed that we're gonna need to go ahead and fill up. And what do we buy? What do you buy right now during this time period, especially when it comes down to ASIC miners in the current market? Do you go big on more Bitcoin miners? Do we double down on script miners? Do we take a massive gamble on altcoin miners? I don't know. What would you guys buy right now if you had a whole other 400 amp service at 7.2 for your electric rate? Let me know. All right, so let's step inside. I'll show you guys what I'm running now, and then we'll talk about what I'm thinking about buying. So stepping into the shed, I'm gonna try to talk a little bit louder here. We have a variety of little stuff down here. Not really gonna get into big detail on that. Lots of future plans going on here. But on this side of the shed, we got quite a variety here. You can see some of these have the shrouds for Bitcoin, some of them for Dogecoin. So our script miners here, we got some L7s, some L9s. We do have a lot of Kaspa miners. I'm absolutely not buying any more Kaspa miners. I'm almost over leveraged on Kaspa miners right now. That's kind of our gamble, our aggressive play. But we got a variety here. We have Bitcoin miners in here right now. S21 Pro, L7, S21, more Kaspa miners. Another L9, more Kaspa, Kaspa, AL3. Oh, a lithium. That was an altcoin that I took a gamble on. We actually have two of these, one here and one over here. Probably gonna go ahead and shut them down here, put them into storage, hope for the best. L9, K7, CKB's been okay. Kaspa, S21, more Kaspa, L7. This is the DG Max here. So we also have a variety of different miners over here. We got some mid-size, also home miners, even GPU mining rig over there. We got the DG2 right here. Oh, maybe we'll buy some more of these. Haven't even released yet. Comes out in November. If you guys haven't seen the video, I'll put it in the card in the upper right-hand corner on the DG2. But what do we buy next? What do I put in that other shed? Well, let's step outside. All right, so where do we go from here? What do we buy right now? A lot of people are skeptics, could say, hey, we are not even in the bull run yet. Many people will say, hey, we're almost through the bull run. It's almost over. Expect a bear market coming up. There's a lot of uncertainty. A lot of strategies kind of awry. People really don't know what to do, where to go from here. And where my first thought is like when I'm talking about what I want to buy, what I want to expand in this new shed, is I want to look ahead. Look to, okay, if the bear market kicked off next week, not to say it is, I'm not wishing that pain upon any of us, what would I buy? And so I think for me, I'm going to be focusing a lot more, at least in this shed, as we start to fill up these slots, on two different algorithms: SHA-256 Bitcoin and script mining with Dogecoin, Litecoin, and a lot of the other script mineable coins. Let's jump back over to the computer. Let's take a closer look at a miner I'm thinking about finally pulling the trigger on. All right, we are back here at home, and let's dive into it a little bit here. I've been really contemplating over the last few weeks as we've been planning out the shed of like, what am I going to buy? What do I want to start to put in here? And I think most altcoins are out of the question right now. I'm not going to over leverage on something like Alio or Lithium or any more Caspa miners or any Nervos or CKB miners. I want to kind of set myself up for the bear market. It's crazy to think that like right now we're recording this in, Q3 of 2025, and I have the bear market on my mind. So I've really been contemplating two different algorithms, as we talked about, any script miners or any Bitcoin miners in that regard. And I'd like to be a lot heavier on Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin right now is at 112,000, as you guys can see. And I think we can all agree that we all know that Bitcoin will continue to go up from here. And it's a safer, more conservative bet. Now, altcoins, there's a lot of money to be made there, but I want to have a bigger footprint in Bitcoin mining. So jumping over to miningnow.com, this is a great website to use as a tool when you guys are kind of in the same situation, trying to think about, profits, what you should buy next, where your head's at. So if you are new, in the upper right-hand corner, set it up for your electric rate. So put in your electric rate in the top corner, click the little arrow there. That will force all of the calculations to be there. Now, the next thing is, and man, I really wish they beef this up a little bit. So if you click on ASIC miners at the top, and let's click on Bitcoin. So that kind of will kind of drop things down a bit. I would love to be able to have some check boxes in here for, hey, eliminate hydro miners or just air cooled miners. That'd actually be nice. A checkbox for just air cooled or just hydro or just immersion. That would be really convenient over here, but we don't have that right now. So looking at this, I'm not set up for hydro for 3-phase. I don't have the infrastructure for that. So let's kind of eliminate those, off. So we're not looking at the top two there. The proto rig here, even though it's a shame, because it says August 2025, this unit isn't out in the wild yet, but it does look really cool. 819 terahash at 12,000 watts. I think I'm going to do a video entirely dedicated to that. If you guys haven't seen it, here, look at that crazy little picture of that guy over there. But I think I'm going to do a video in the next week or two on just the proto rig. I haven't really covered it on the channel yet, so something that I'm definitely thinking about. So we have another hydro rig, another hydro, immersion, which I'm thinking about doing some immersion in this new shed, but we'll circle all back to that. The S23s are not out yet. While the BitDeer miners look really, really attractive, I've actually had my eye on the A2 for a little bit. This is the A2 hydro, so we're not looking at that. Let's go ahead here. We got more hydro. It's like, oh my gosh, more hydro. All this hydro is crazy to take a look at here. Now, so don't let that deter you, even though it doesn't have hydro in the name. You definitely want to look at it. So we got to find our way through all of this hydro, which brings us down here to some of the miners that we have in here. So once we break past these hydro miners and immersion miners, we get down to the S21 XP. And I'll be honest with you, I have had my eye on this miner for a while now. I don't own one currently right now. I don't have any hosted. This will, if I go this route with the S21 XP, this will be my most powerful Bitcoin miner. I do have some S21 Pros, but the S21 XP 270 terahash, 3,645 watts, which is a lot at 13.5 joules per terahash. So this is something that I've had my eye on for a while. The revenue per day would bring me in about $15.49, with about $6.30 in electric, coming in at about $9.19. And that's right now when Bitcoin is at 112,000. So once we start to get back up to 120, 125,000, that's going to be a significant more in that regard. And so taking a look here, I've started to look at different resellers out there. I don't recommend. There's a lot of these I'm unsure about. A lot of these prices are not accurate here on Mining Now. So I would try to stay away from them the best you can. I've actually had my eye. I've been talking with Luxor about getting a quote for the S21 XP. And Luxor isn't a company that I traditionally think about of like, oh, I'm going to go buy mining hardware from them, right? Like that's not something I traditionally think about. For me, my first introduction with them was actually their firmware. They actually have a Bitcoin firmware for a lot of the SHA-256 miners out there. And that is actually how I originally got introduced to Luxor, I don't know, a few years ago maybe, in that regard. But if you come over to their website, luxor.tech, and take a closer look here, you know, Luxor's been around for a while, one of the bigger names in the industry, not only for firmware, but now I'm starting to look at them for hardware. They do have US-based shipping. I did look into that because I've kind of done some of my research. I've looked into it a little bit here to kind of see what else is available out there for them. And they actually have a lot of different things that I haven't looked into much at all. You know, I've always looked at them as like, oh, they're just a company that gets into firmware and has third-party firmware and has a mining pool. And they are, absolutely. But what I want to look at is some of their hardware here. So jumping over, if you select their hardware tab here, you can actually schedule a call with them if you're interested. I think that's, to me, that would be more if you're looking to go a few different ways. One, if you are brand new, you're a little unsure to mining, you need someone to talk to, bam, schedule a call. If you're looking to do into financing, I know they offer a lot of financing options over at Luxor, most likely more catered towards enterprise clients out there versus me and you buying one or twosies. They do offer that as well from a financing perspective too, so you can click schedule a call. But for us here, we're going to go ahead and actually look into the hardware side of things. But something I came across which really surprised me that I wanted to show you guys because I was like, oh, what is this exactly? Jumped ahead. How dare I? Up top here, they have derivatives. And so buy and sell Bitcoin hash rate. And I was like, wait, is this kind of like NiceHash? Like, can you come in here and it actually says here, Luxor's hash rate markets help miners and financial institutions manage Bitcoin mining risk, trade Bitcoin mining exposure, and finance Bitcoin mining operations. So that, like, I was like, wait, I didn't even know this was a thing that was out there. So if this is something you guys are interested, go over and check it out. But let's go ahead and take a look at the hardware. So we're over on Luxor's hardware marketplace here, and you know, two miners that have really caught my eye that one of them is the Bitmain Antminer S21 XP that we talked about there. And the other one is the L9. Jumping back, Bitcoin and Script, I feel like are the better avenue to go as we approach a bear market. I'm not saying we're going to be in the bear market tomorrow, the next day, or the next day, but I do have a lot of interest in kind of securing myself a little bit better with either an L9 or more S21 XPs. Maybe we'll go with several of both, to be honest with you, as I continue to invest. I mean, look at this here. The L9 right now is bringing in $17.55, but I need to balance out kind of my exposure. I have a lot of exposure right now into Dogecoin script mining, so that's why I'm leaning more towards actually the S21 XP. And so I did find out that their pricing here, $5,849.99, does include shipping. They actually ship directly from a US warehouse, which is awesome. That cuts down that lead time to like 3 days, which is fantastic. And I don't need to worry about custom fees or import fees or anything like that. So $5,849 for an S21 XP. And you might be like, okay, like, why the S21 XP? Why not get a little bit older of a unit? And where my head is at, and where I've continued to preach on my channel, is if you have the opportunity, buy at the top of the technology curve. And that Bitcoin miners are constantly releasing. I mean, there's always new miners coming out. There's so many more manufacturers popping up. All these companies are releasing more and more Bitcoin miners all the time. And so I don't want to step into like an S21 right now that's at 200 terahash when the S23 that we talked about was it like 318 terahash and is releasing next year. So I'm like, man, it just continues to evolve. And I feel like I need to continue to be at the top of that technology curve just to set myself up to be in a better place a year from now or 2 years from now. So that's why for me, I'm looking at the S21 XP currently right now as my next purchase, but I'm kind of up in the air. Would love to hear from you guys. What do you guys think I should add in my new shed? Do you think the S21 XPs? Do you think the L9s? You know, if you got to buy today, as I said, we're in Q3 of 2025. What are you buying? So love to get your thoughts. Love to get your feedback directly down below. I'll leave links to a bunch of different sites that we referenced here directly down below as well. But guys, Leave your comments and your thoughts. More coming to you guys here. Maybe by the next video that we do like this, we will have a new miner, which would be awesome. We'll definitely have to see. All right, I'll see you guys next time.